What's really been the time where you thought, this is tough?
Took some bad tax advice and had to pay the tax man some money back. There's definitely things people don't talk about. It was, long story short, it was a DOTA scheme, which is a disclosed
tax avoidance.
Yeah. And we took some advice from the same accountant that helped us move away from our business partners. And he said, worst case scenario, you'll have to pay some corporation tax on it on the way you've taken it out. And we were like, right, okay. And again, we were a bit naive because we listened to him probably rather than ask a lot of questions.
And we trusted him because he'd kind of got us, he'd helped us so much by that point. We really did think, we just do what he says.
And then the law changed after it. So rather than them coming and saying, right, we're going to dispute this, let's get a resolution, they basically came and said, right, you owe us this, and then it'll go into dispute after, but you've got to pay up front. And it was, it was a lot of money. It was a lot of money in one go. So that was, we were a little bit like, okay, we did it when we bought the business out, but the money was like, what was it, 5 times, 6 times as much?
Yeah, and what was really insane about it is it was designed so that if people were taking large amounts of money out of a business and putting it on a house and then getting the profit out of the house, that kind of thing, that they were attacking those people. But the reality is, it took Nikki and I 5 years to take that amount of money out of the business because we didn't have that money. But he was just like, it'd be better for you in this respect and everything else. It's like you going 30 miles an hour and then them changing the speed limit to 20 miles an hour and saying, everyone that's gone through that speed limit
couple of months
in the last 3 years, we're going to give you speeding tickets. There's nothing you can do about it. We're going to charge you for it, and then you can take us to court later about it and disagree.
That was horrendous.
That
time was horrendous. And funnily enough, it was a bad decision. I don't think it was bad advice at the time. Like you said, something changed. And was it a bad decision? Who knows? It made us not risk anything else in the future.
Oh, it made us very insular. We were literally, everyone would be like, do this. No. Yeah, but no, we're not doing it. We wouldn't even listen.
It was the hardest time because at that point we were probably 6-7 years in. We just started to get a bit of flow, find our feet, and then this just completely rocked us because we thought that revenue were going to come in and take all of the money out of the business and shut us down.
Yeah. Wow.
It was
not a sleepless night sort of thing.
It was horrible. Yeah. And it felt like it was also never ending because, we actually had meetings at HMRC. We went and had meetings there and sat down with them. We were like, please explain to us. We need to get to the bottom of this. We need to get around it. We've paid all this money. How can you possibly tax us this exactly the same amount of money as what we've taken out? Because that's what they wanted us to pay back. We were like, but that's 100% tax. It was insane, wasn't it? And we literally went up there and were like, please explain how this works. And with the poor guys, they're obviously just officers. It's not their decision or anything else. And he was like, yeah, but blah, blah, blah. We were like, imagine if someone sent you a letter saying you owed them that much money. He was like, yeah, I've just taken a mortgage out. And we were like, yes, you get a house at the end of that. Nothing at the end. It was awful.
And it is frustrating because it was, like we said, it was from the advice came from an accountant and he told us worst case scenario. And actually worst case scenario that he told us was probably about 20% of actually the scenario that happened.
Yeah, it was horrible.
Yeah. So then most of the other problems really that we say would be very stressful would come from money more than anything else. Just because you've got huge responsibility when you've got staff, you've got people out on the road, you've got your own houses.
Yeah, and it's difficult because we, like Nikki said, we're paying people and we pay them weekly. Some of our customers don't pay us for 30 to 60 days. So you're cash holding their business as such because we're funding it.
Yeah.
We're paying, they take X amount of time to pay us. And probably our worst ones are when people have then overtraded and then been unable to pay us. Whether it be that they've then had to create a payment plan to manage to get back to a manageable situation, or whether it be that they've gone bust on us. We've had numerous of those over the years.
Yes, even though we're a small business, in COVID when it peaked, we were owed 2.5 million. Like every day when we get up in the morning, that's how much we were due in. And I can remember once the VAT man. Yeah. We had a 500 grand VAT bill.
Yeah.
And we were like, we can't pay this in one go because the customers are trading so much that the bank are taking some of their funding away. And it just happens, like when you've got momentum and you're working really hard to fulfill the requirements, then unfortunately the finance bit, which should always be probably at the top of the list, gets forgotten about. And then all, the 3 months pass.
Yeah.
And I rang the VAT office and I said, look, we're going to have to pay you 3 months again. It was like history repeating itself.
Yeah.
And they went, you need to put a case forward. I was like, the case is we can't pay it. I'll pay it in 3 months. And they said, okay, we'll put something in writing. We didn't hear from them. But that's experience. We're going to do what we say we'll do, and we know that they'll probably
that's
go with
because
it.
before we've been like, can we? And they obviously say no. We're like, well, that's it. That's all we can do. I mean, for us, it was incredibly harsh because the bank were literally just like, no, that's it. And we were like, but we're incredibly busy, and they were looking at people furloughing and everyone looking at completely different situations. We're like, the business is booming. With the busiest we have ever been. The haulage industry is booming at the moment, and you're putting restrictions on us based upon furlough and, the COVID loans and everything else. And we're like, we've not taken any of those. So you're looking at our credit based upon the fact that we're still trading and we've not taken anything because people have taken stuff. That was really hard because we were sort of fighting between a rock and a hard place, and we did eventually change banks because we just received absolutely no support. We were like, we can't pay our tax bill. Like, we actually can't pay that. And they were like, there's nothing we can do. We're like, you're actually you're stunting us trading.
Yeah, definitely most stressful times are the money, because that's the thing that can stop the business.
Yeah.
Everything else you can sort of manage or deal with, but that can just shut you down. You don't have the cash flow.
And absolutely, as you say, because you've got so many people on payroll, they're expecting to be paid every week. They're not going to come in if they're not paid. You've got your own staff. They're not going to come in if they're not getting paid. That kind of cash flow bit must be crucial.
Yeah, and it only needs to happen once before you get a bad reputation. If for some reason we didn't pay all our staff on Friday, that would be around the industry like wildfire.
Oh, absolutely.
And, all the drivers and people that trust us now, that trust is gone. When we're busy and we need them, they wouldn't want to work for us because there's a risk of not getting paid.